You know, there's a button you gotta press inside yourself when you make these videos. And sometimes you can't find the button. You have to root around and press that histrionic element of your personality that makes you think it's worthwhile to talk into a cell phone camera to an audience of 5 to 10 people on a Friday night. Anyway, I'm surprised that I've not mentioned this before or brought it up in any other video, because I feel like it's kind of significant, or anyway, it's significant to me. The fact that I've not read a book written in the last 20 years. A novel, more specifically. This is excluding. Probably read some recent nonfiction of comic books and graphic novels, certainly. But as far as novels go, fiction, I've not read anything written in the last 20 or 30 years, probably, broadly speaking. And I have no intention or desire to break that habit, or to to pursue whatever's on the New York Times list or anything. And why I think this is significant is, first of all, it's sort of bizarre to be writing books, trying to compel other people to read them when you yourself would not think twice about pursuing anybody else's. It's just weird. You know, it's weird to like be an advocate for yourself working in a medium of which you're not necessarily like a part of, as it is today. Self-published books, especially, you're not going to get me to read anybody's self-published book, because they're normally bad. So I think that's part of why, I think that's part of where a lot of the pessimism comes from, is like, if I wouldn't read my own books, well, why would I expect anybody else to? And another thing is, I definitely don't think that I'm unique in this demographic of reader. I think a good chunk of the people who do read books aren't reading anything new either. So like I really like John Steinbeck, and I still haven't gotten through his entire catalog. I have Cup of Gold right here that I still haven't read yet. And it's like, why would I read what's on the New York Times? I don't know. Whatever's on the New York Times bestseller list. Why would I read that when I still have Cup of Gold to read? Why would I read that when I still have White Fang to read? Never read White Fang. The Martian Chronicles, never read that, and I have that here. In Cold Blood, never read that. And I guess that could be seen as a weakness, because it really is just like, you spend your lifetime sort of indoctrinated. Why can't I say indoctrinated? My mouth is a weird, I don't know, it gets weird when I do that. Indoctrinated, it gets weird. There's something in the water. What was I saying? Oh, goodness. Do you know, like, in movies where there's like psychic triggers? There's like psychic triggers that are supposed to like brainwash people. I feel like I just spoke one of those like subliminally implanted psychic triggers, and my brain has switched into another state. Anyway, so again, I remember what I was saying now. So, like, I guess on the one hand, you're, like, indoctrinated by these, like, oh, these are the classics of all time, On the other hand, it's, like, classics are classics for a reason. And sometimes there is something to be said for like the status quo. Pop music is popular for a reason. You know, when you're in your youth and you're in your rebellious phase, you're like, oh, I don't like Elton John. That's not who I am. But then you hit in a certain age and you realize that Elton John is excellent, and you it's like candy for your ears. And I don't know if that's quite analogous to the great works of literature. But you have to figure that everything's already been said, and it's already been curated for you, presented into you know, I don't know. It's just like, why would you read a bunch of precarious shit when you can explore it like a cultural touchstone, I guess. I don't know. Is that stupid? Is that stupid? This is a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer that. You know, the most embarrassing thing about watching a YouTube video is at the end of the video, they're like, let's keep the conversation going down in the comments. Tell me what you think. As if you're like waiting with bated breath to hear what a bunch of strangers have to say about Resident Evil 2 or something. But anyway, I think there's a lot of people who are just sort of on the same wavelength of just like, you know, you could read, and I'm a slow reader too, but like you could be reading your entire life and never get through the canon, the literary canon. You could be reading your entire life and never finish it. So it's like, why just pile a bunch of other slop on there? And another hard pebble in my shoe is even if I was reading contemporary literature or wanted to, and I'm sure it's not that there's not good stuff out there, it's just that I don't have the motivation to find it. But a lot of it is just like trash and does not resonate with me. It's all very politically minded stuff. It's all very sort of insular, coastal city. Please for diversity while still maintaining a sort of thought consistency, homogeneous consistency of thought, that I'm just not really down with, not really interested in. You can get the philosophical, metaphorical nugget of most modern Western literature by browsing crazy people on Twitter for 15 minutes. You know, that kind of thing. And another thing is just I wanted to reading. No matter what it is, no matter whether it's a sci-fi shoot 'em up or a thick meditative tome, it should be escapism. And reading anything written in the modern day is not escapism. You can't escape from everybody's, neurotic social media BS. And you just want to go back to a time before the internet, where people were farmers, and or you just want to, hey, there's some chronicles on Mars. There's many Martian chronicles Now a major NBC TV presentation in the year of whatever, when was this? Good grief. What is this? Copyright 1946, yeah. So, I mean, you're getting the hottest NBC adaptations from 1958. And you have to hope, at least, that your mind is not going to contract the same amount of poison as, I don't know. I hesitate to name names. I hesitate to name names. Anyway, but yeah, to reiterate, it really is just, it's certainly not motivating. It's certainly not motivating to, again, to be sort of trying to be like, oh, hey, read this thing I wrote. While you would, if somebody was saying that to you, you would shrug, tell them to get a job. Get a job in the coal mines. I wish we had coal mines. We should send children to work in coal mines again. Nobody ever brings that up. 10-year-old boys working in coal mines. You know, now everything's toxic. You know what's toxic? Black lung. Coal dust is toxic in your 10-year-old lungs. They're just supposed to be breathing the sweet Virginia air above ground.